I've been wondering if I shouldn't remarry. I'm sure the last thing you need is your mother watching over your shoulder every time you come home. But perhaps there is still life once your children have outgrown you.
You've been through a lot. You deserve any joy you can find.
Thank you, love. No one could ever replace your father. But it is refreshing to think I could still be courted at this age. The Reinhardt's second daughter is very interested in meeting you.
Did you ever run the wilds, boy? Kirkwall is no city for a breed used to open spaces. Nice as your estate is, it's not healthy for a Mabari to be cooped up. May I take him to the barracks time to time? He could help train my guards.
I'm sure he'll enjoy that. Thanks for the offer.
Good. I think it's time they face down a good old Mabari charge. How about it, boy? Want to chew on some recruits?
Boo! Ah, there he goes again. How he makes these things, I'll never know.
I've never seen another dwarf like him. Does this run in your family?
Not at all, but Sandal isn't really my son. I found him in the deep roads when I left Orzammar for good. Raised him as my own now. Isn't that right, my boy?
I like Bodan.
He's always been this way. Always collecting things and enchanting them. Strange, I suppose.
Have you ever thought of finding out more?
Well, I did. I brought him to the Circle of Magi about a year after we got to the surface. They called him a savant, but then they started giving him the eye like they were going to keep him, so we left. Not going back to those vultures. Sandal's happy as he is.
Sandal's quite useful to have around.
That he is. Also, I've always said. Oh, Maker knows what'll happen when I'm gone. I try not to think about it.
I want some pie. It's very shiny. Enchantments.
If you need any enchantments, I'm sure my boy would be happy to help.
Enchantments!
Just so.
Wish Bodan would clean the fireplace. Says it reminds him of a mine shaft. Wish Bodan would clean the fireplace. Says it reminds him of a mine shaft. Is that Isabella? Who carves that into a stairwell? That's Mother's room. I shouldn't intrude. Handprints? Was someone swinging on the chandelier? Sando. Nice view. I see the Arenbergs have made up. Didn't I see this crest hanging somewhere in the Viscount's keep? Poor Prince. I told him to stay off the bed. Oh, I think I'll let Sandal empty that. Everything that's left of my life in Lothering. Isabella seemed disappointed that she didn't find anything worth gossiping about. Snoop. Everything that's left of my life in Lothering. I see Varric's taken it upon himself to add certain embellishments to my journal. What's this? Ah, Anders' manifesto. Again. I see Varric's taken it upon himself to add certain embellishments to my journal. Paw prints. I told him to stay off the bed. Ah, I think I'll let Sandal empty that. Alright, so she sits on the crest sideways, then cover the... Sweet Baker! Isabella! Ah, I can't unsee that. Didn't I see this crest hanging somewhere in the Viscount's keep? That's Mother's room. I shouldn't intrude. Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Fenris said Daenerys left this at the mansion. Sorry, I was expecting treasure, not spiders. Get well soon. Love, Isabella. Why do I let her drag me into these things? I came in and watered your plants. Your friend Merril. Well, that was nice of her. I'm glad Bethany always writes. Sorry, I was expecting treasure, not spiders. Get well soon. Love, Isabella. Why do I let her drag me into these things? Ah, this statue. Wait, where did I get this statue? Ah, this statue. Wait, where did I get this statue? Hard in Hightown. Siege harder. What does that even mean? Varric must be stopped. Hard in Hightown. Siege harder. What does that even mean? Varric must be stopped.
Ah, you've returned. A letter arrived for you. It's on the desk. That's where I'll put messages which come while you're out.
That dog. Well, maybe chew marks add character to the piece. That dog. Well, maybe chew marks add character to the piece.
So I think a spring wedding would be lovely, don't you, Sister Kalinda?
It would be, I'm sure. But do you think it's wise to plan for a wedding when there isn't even a groom yet?
Details, details. I'll have you know my daughter has had a suitor come by the house twice now.
You're incredibly talented, Merril. I can see you were meant for great things.
Thank you.
But you're stupid.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't you think it would be better to work on where you are now, instead of recreating old glory?
No, that's kind of the opposite of what I've been saying. I'm the stupid one. Whatever.
the Maker's gaze be upon you.
Forgive me, Your Grace.
It is not enough to offer forgiveness for a sin committed in the Maker blessed us with minds and a conscience. He does not approve when we fail to use them.
I'm sorry.
I'm not the one you wronged.
I thought it would end here. Young Master Hawke destroyed Flint Company. None remain. Yet, now that I know who sent them, it's harder to see their deaths as justice.
Death is never justice.
Hawke? We were just talking about you.
Saying good things, I hope.
Hawke asked diplomatically.
You know I hate it when you do that.
Hawke muttered in an angry aside to the dwarf.
If, you two have a moment, I've learned who hired Flint Company. The Harrimans, a noble family of Kirkwall. They were my parents' allies. It's hard to believe they betrayed us like this.
Tell me about this family.
Lord Harriman used to be a good man, but he became rather strange in his dotage. He died some years back. His daughter took over the family, Lady Johanne Harriman. They say she's become quite reclusive of late.
Any idea why they turned on you?
Money? Power? It's hard to say. Lady Harriman was always jealous of my family for being royalty when hers were mere nobility. But I can't imagine that pushing her into outright murder.
Is there any peaceful way to resolve this?
If you treat the Harrimans like those mercenaries, you could start a war. Go carefully, Sebastian.
I must speak with Lady Harriman and find out what drove her to this madness. But I am the last of my line. I should not go alone and make myself a target.
If I'm standing beside you, that should make her think twice.
Again, your interest in my plight humbles me. If you like, I can travel with you until you confront Lady Harriman. Otherwise, you can always find me here in the Chantry.
I cannot fault Sebastian for wanting to know why an old ally would turn against his parents. But I fear he's too impetuous. He may do something he regrets. Please, go with him, try to restrain him. If the Harrimans are guilty, they will receive justice from the Viscount. Sebastian need not take their punishment into his own hands.
What is the Chantry's stance on the Qunari presence here?
Would it help anything for us to get involved? Or is it more likely to light the kindling? If the Qunari act against us, the Templars will defend Kirkwall. Otherwise, we guard ourselves best by waiting.
How long have you been Grand Cleric?
I became a lay sister here when I was only a girl. My parents died of fever, and I was taken in by the Chantry. Eventually, I took my vows. After I had served for some time, the revered mothers agreed that I should travel to Orlais. The Divine herself appointed me Grand Cleric of Kirkwall. That was near 30 years ago.
You knew my grandparents?
I dedicated your mother into the Chantry. She was a beautiful baby. Your grandmother was a very proper lady, but she was beside herself that day. And your mother put a fist in my eye.
I'd always welcome your benediction.
Andraste, guide your steps in this difficult time.
I'm desperately trying to stay away. But the giggling, and the perfume, and those revealing dresses.
Not going to happen.
I don't want to do that. Perhaps someone else can help. I'll pass.
I hope all is well.
Your hound is a mark of nobility in Ferelden, is he not? I have heard that gaining a Mabari's loyalty is considered the ultimate proof of character there.
That's kind of you to say. I think we make a good pair.
The dog cares nothing for worldly power. The Maker would like to see us learn from them.
Don't let it go to your head.
there are still many
You seem very angry.
And here I thought the Chantry was against mind reading.
Did something happen to you in the Circle? I understand there were problems in Ferelden.
Are you saying a mage can only be unhappy in the Circle if demons are involved? No. It's not about Aldred. It's not about being beaten or raped by a Templar. That does happen. But I've been fortunate. It's a larger principle. The freedom every man, woman and child born in Thedas have as a natural right.
You were given to the Circle. I was given to the Chantry. Hawke was driven away from home by the Darkspawn. None of us are free.
Not going to happen. Good to go.
So, choir boy, this usurper of yours is, 20 feet tall?
Not even close, no.
But he has claws for hands, right?
Fingers. Perfectly normal ones. If a little fat, perhaps.
He eats babies, though, and farts fire.
You're not serious, I hope.
You can't even pretend to be interesting, can you?
Greetings.
That's strange. The door's wide open, and not a single guard posted. This is not the Lady Harriman I remember. There is something very wrong in here.
More! You lazy son of a bitch! What's taking so long?
Flora?
Why does no one in this house care what I want? More wine, or I swear I will drown you in the dregs.
That sounds familiar. I don't envy anyone in this household tomorrow morning.
She doesn't even see us. This is no normal wine.
More logs. It must be molten. You, more coins. I want every scrap of gold in this house.
Please, monsieur!
There's nothing to fear. You'll be beautiful. Pour it over her.
Don't! You'll kill her! He can't hear me.
Perhaps I should be the one.
We must end this madness. I visited this house often as a child. They could not have concealed such goings-on.
Oh, lower, lower.
I beg your pardon, Hawke. I did not mean to expose you to such things.
No, the feather. Use the feather. Where have you been all my life? Today, I am more than a man. Come, felicitate me.
He has no idea we're here. I've known Ruxton Harriman my whole life. He's a complete prude.
Midlife crisis? Where's your brother? Let's ask him to join us. Say
about a man with big hands. Now, you be the naughty apprentice, and I'll be the Templar torch.
Turn back. There is nothing here for you.
We just want to know what's happening.
You shall not enter.
Temptresses. We must see what greater evil they were protecting. A ruin, so close to Hightown. I remember no such thing. In the shadows, more of them!
We should get going.
In the shadows! More of them!
Right behind you, Hawke. think Bianca's gotten scratched.
We should get going.
Easy as...
Starkhaven will not submit. I put that idiot Goran Vale into the prince's seat, but the other families won't heed him. I must marry him to Flora and solidify our hold. But I need more power.
I've given you much. Your desires run deep. You've already traded your husband and your children. What more can you offer?
What bargain have you made?
Who is this? Who are you? How did you get here? Sebastian!
You were my mother's friend. How could you murder her?
Such an ugly word. I prefer remove the only obstacle between her and her dreams.
This was your idea.
I could create such desires if I wished. But it's far easier to nurture those that already exist. The desire for power is easy to find. You and your friend both possess it, do you not? You both wish to rise.
Not if it meant selling out my family.
How loyal were your friends to you? Everyone has a price. Everyone wants something.
Do not listen to her.
Oh, such a pious soul, masking so much ambition. Are you so different from my lady? You yearn for the same lands, the same power.
I am the rightful heir. She is a usurper and murderer.
You swore to put aside worldly goods and ambitions, but they couldn't stop you from wanting them.
You'll be a good ruler. It doesn't matter what you do to get there.
I'm not acting from ambition. I only want what's best for my people.
For the people who'll adore you. All those smiles they used to save for your brother. Now you'll be the shining prince. All you have to do is kill anyone in your way.
Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul. Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Sebastian, I am so sorry is such an inadequate word. When I think what Mother made us do, what those creatures made us do.
We were friends, Flora.
It was like a cloud came down on me. All I could feel or think was what the demon allowed.
Did your mother order the attack on Sebastian's family?
She did. You know Mother, Sebastian. She was always jealous of your parents. The demon twisted that until it was all she could think of. She was determined to seize Starkhaven for herself.
Was your mother a mage? How did she find this demon?
We've never had magic in our line. Perhaps that made Mother too confident. She thought she could deal with the demon and not fall prey to it.
Right. It is demons who should be feared, not mages.
Those ruins there were unearthed when we expanded the house. Mother found the demon inside. I think she had signed her bargain before we even knew.
Don't blame your mother. The Desire Demon made this happen.
I doubt many people will be so forgiving. If it takes every last coin my family owns, I will make reparations to everyone we've wronged. Starting with you, Sebastian. We weren't the only ones vying for Starkhaven. If you face more opposition, you have my support.
It will not make up for what happened.
No, that's true.
I'll tell you when I need you. Let us return to the Chantry. I must pray for Lady Harriman's soul.
Tell us about Starkhaven, choir boy. I'm sure we're all burning with curiosity about your faraway land.
My faraway land? It's inland free marches, not on the moon.
Huh. And here I was hoping.
It's a lot like here, but fewer dead people.
Well, you don't have Hawke.
And Andraste did say, those who harm a house of the Maker of... harm unto the Maker himself. Though the lands suffer 1,000 wrongs, the Maker yet notices the smallest of deeds. Though the lands suffer 1,000 wrongs, the Maker yet notices the smallest of deeds.
We're here to serve the Maker.
Is that supposed to be Andraste's face on your crotch?
What?
That belt buckle thing. Is that Andraste?
My father had this armor commissioned when I took my vows as a brother.
I'm just not sure I'd want the Maker seeing me shove his bride's head between my legs every morning.
I had hoped prayer might cleanse me of the Desire Demon's touch, but I still hear her voice so clearly. I feel like I've bathed in filth that will never come off.
You acted honorably. Why are you ashamed?
The demon didn't lie. I used to be bitterly jealous of my brother. I wanted to be prince. Now everything he had is mine. And he lies in ashes. I keep asking myself, do I want this because it's right? Or simply to have what I never thought I could?
Aren't you your parents' heir?
I'm the youngest son of 3. My parents were rather traditional. They wanted the heir and the spare, and I was left in the cold. They put me in the chantry to prevent my competing with my brothers.
You seem very dedicated to the chantry. You were put there against your will.
At first. But it was the best thing that could have happened. I was a wild boy, a shame to my family. The chantry made me a man. It's odd. When I wanted to rule, I would have been terrible at it. Now that I might be decent, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
Don't let the demon make you doubt yourself.
In trying to retake Starkhaven, I have already brought death to so many. Could I ever do enough good as prince to justify that?
You could be a just and fair ruler. Worry about reparations once you take your lands.
I know you've done great things in Kirkwall, Hawke. I imagine your methods haven't always been scrupulous. But you clearly do more good than harm. I just don't know if I can follow that road.
I think this is yours.
My grandfather's bow, but where did you get it?
One of the Flint Company mercenaries had it.
Thank you. It's hard to mourn the loss of a thing while my family lies dead. But I did think of it.
What's the story behind that bow?
As the youngest son, it was my place to lead Starkhaven's militia. But I never had a talent for swordplay. Too much getting hit. My grandfather said the bow is the wise man's weapon. You can defend your city without opening its gates. Grandfather said the day I could pull the string on his bow, it would be mine.
Then why didn't you have it with you?
I was 13 when my grandfather made me that promise. I would rise at dawn to practice my shots until I could hit the eye slit of a helmet from the top of the ramparts. But my parents pledged me to the chantry before I could show him.
Were you and your grandfather close?
He was a man of the world, Prince of Starkhaven. But he had the most unshakable faith in the Maker. When my parents threatened to pledge me to the chantry, he told me he'd gladly trade his title for a life of contemplation. The Maker ordained a place for each of us, I remember him saying. We have only to serve.
I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet them, to save them.
I know. You're a true friend, Hawke. You brought me this to remember and honor them. But if I could bring back our lowest servant by snapping it in half, I'd do it without regrets.
strength.
Hightown is so much cleaner than the alienage.
Hightown hides its worst elements very well. The things people keep behind locked doors.
Don't make eye contact with the dwarf merchants here. I've skipped the last 5 guild meetings.
The Canary must like it here, to stay so long.
From what I've seen, the Canary don't like anything.
That can't be true. They must like some things. Sunshine, butterflies, rainbows.
If I spot a Canary admiring butterflies, Merril, you'll be the first person I tell.
Late again. Where is she?
You won't find... prices.
Quality armor. The best outside of Orzammar.
Your jaunt into the deep roads went rather well. Good for you.
A fine day, is it not?
You! This is your fault! You and that blighter, Varric Tethras. What did I do? You'll be the end of my boys.
I don't even know who you are.
Yevon, member in good standing of the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Not that it really matters to people like you.
Whatever you think I did, I can fix it.
My sons are lost in the deep roads because of stories about you. Your sodding glory and treasure.
Don't you dare blame him. We both know this was Iwan's doing.
If you want to keep your job, shut your mouth, woman.
Your boys are grown men. It was their own decision.
What exactly were they trying to do?
It may be my fault, Monsieur. I've told them all the stories about you.
You're the only one who knows where they went. They were following the path of your expedition. Please help me find them. Don't let my boys die down there.
Your sons made an expedition into the deep roads. Did anyone go with them?
They went alone, the fools. Just my 3 boys against every darkspawn in the deep roads.
Iwan is Yevon's middle son. The whole thing was his idea. Emrys and Merrin were just following his lead. The greedy bastard didn't want to hire anyone else if it meant he had to share the spoils.
Sounds familiar. I thought coming to the surface meant I would never have to face losing my sons to the Darkspawn.
I'll do everything in my power to bring your sons home.
I should approve, but it seems like I save a lot of fools from themselves.
Thank you, Messer. Those boys are my life. They entered the deep roads using the same passage you did. Please find them. I will see you rewarded for your efforts.
Keep moving. I'd rather not be mistaken for a client of the Rose, thank you.
Good day to you.
The guard wouldn't have taken my boy if he'd just been decent to him.
You mean if I hadn't yelled, "Stop, thief," when he stole my wages? Fat chance, sweetie.
I heard you were invited to
Hightown is lovely this time of day.
Go on up, sir. They're waiting.
I need 4 more dwarven ales.
So I hear you've been visiting the Viscount's gardens, Daisy.
Oh, they're enormous. And they're always empty. Why don't more people go to see them?
Probably because they're private and surrounded by guards.
I thought all those men looked a bit cross.
I love doing that.
Anything else, Master Harlan?
The way this place attracts Templars, you'd think it was full of apostates.
Welcome, Miss Eyre. Have a seat and I'll be right with you.
Well, fancy meeting you here. Just, here for a drink myself. Well, fancy meeting you here. Just, here for a drink myself.
Good day to you.
Rebecca is a very pretty name.
I'll tell her you said so, Daisy.
She can't actually hear you, can she?
Of course she can. What kind of question is that?
Wait, are we talking about your crossbow or something else now?
Are you one of Yevon's sons?
Master Hawke? Please help me. My brother, Merril. Iwan locked him in with the Darkspawn. He sealed the door, left me here and bolted for that passage. He's gone mad. All he cares about is that damned sword.
Last time I was here, we picked this place clean. What's your brother looking for?
Iwan called it the Heart Drinker. He says it's the masterwork of an ancient smith from this Tig. He bought a book from one of the Orzammar caravans. It had the location of the sword. Or at least to the golems who guard it.
Is your brother insane or just cruel?
He wouldn't tell us about the sword, but I never imagined he'd leave us to rot.
This is getting just a little too familiar, isn't it?
Please. I don't want my brother to be eaten by those monsters.
I'll do my best. Go back to your father, and I'll find you when I'm done.
He's on the other side of that wall. You need to find a way to reach him. Please, come tell my father as soon as you have news.
By the stone, I thought I was done for. Wait. You're Master Hawke. I can't believe it's you. I had no idea the deep roads would be like this, that the Darkspawn would just be everywhere. I've heard the stories, but it's not the same as actually being down here.
Any longer, and the Darkspawn would have had you.
I was a fool to think we could do this by ourselves. I knew Iwan was up to something. He got so evasive every time I asked about the Blighted Sword. I still can't believe he betrayed us. Do you think he's alive?
Let's get you out of here before the Darkspawn return.
Of course. I can't thank you enough for coming when you did, Messer. You know, I never realized what the dwarves in Orzammar are up against. They fight these monsters every day of their lives. I don't think I can sit by and let my people die while I enjoy the easy life of a merchant. Not anymore. Come find us when you return. I'm sure Father will want to thank you for saving me.
Sodding boy. Looks like the golem control rod's still intact, though. Shall we go find something to use it on?
It seems fairly unimpressive now. Try using the rod on it.
Too late. The darkspawn smashed the chest.
Maybe there's still something to salvage in this mess.
Piece of cake.
Don't get stabbed again.
Blondie, Sunshine, Daisy, Ravani. What am I?
Beg your pardon?
You don't call anyone by name except for me. Where's my nickname?
That's not true. There's Hawke and Bianca.
Hawke is a family name, and Bianca is a crossbow. Don't change the subject.
Haven't thought of a good one yet. What do you think of Red?
Too common.
Well, when you think of one, let me know.
Iwan, he's not with you. I had hoped.
Father, I told you it would be too late.
He tried to kill Merril and Emrys, and you're sad he didn't make it?
His betrayal isn't lost on me, Dira. But he'll always be my son. You've given me back 2 of my boys, Messer. I'm in your debt. Please, take this as thanks.
That's ridiculous. How could anyone believe it?
Those are the meanest looking birds I've ever seen. Even if they are just statues.